Just to let you know that we're at 12:28. We're going to give it a couple more minutes for people to join, but I wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to know that you're connected and welcome to our kickoff. And like I say, we'll try and start rather promptly at 12:30. We're almost ready to get started and really appreciate everybody joining today and for your patience as we just give it a little bit more time to make sure everybody's able to be online with us. Um, just to let you know, I'm Linus Eukel, Executive Director for John Muir Land Trust, and in the background, as it were, I'm joined by Lisa Lamba, Kristen Anderson, and Kathleen Stavis, who are all involved with development and communications and connecting with our community, including all of you, and really appreciate their support and are trying to put this together, and we hope you enjoy it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and get started because we do have limited time. We want to respect your time and get through this in sort of prompt fashion. So with that said, I'm going to make sure I've got my tools lined up here. So we are John Muir Land Trust. I'm Linus Eukel, as I said, Executive Director, and wishing you a belated Happy New Year. This is our 2025 kickoff. I'm going to get through quite a few things rather quickly, and there'd be a lot of things that I'll leave out. And to that end, just for sake of time, to that end, though, if you have questions as I go along, please go ahead and type them into the chat. And at the end, we'll have 10 minutes for some Q&A, and those that I'm working with can curate some of that as we go. And I'll look forward to having that be a part of the program as well. So what you're looking at here on my screen is uh, over in the Moraga Hills region, specifically Painted Rock, and you can see Mount Diablo in the distance and Las Trampas Peak and so forth. Beautiful area, and we're going to start there just as an anchor for our introduction, but range all over the East Bay and even out into the Delta. So with that said, sure I've got this queued. We are that organization that describes our service area as Contra Costa County, Alameda County, and with some nuance, the Bay Delta. We're a local non-governmental 501c3, just to review some of this information. I mean, this is a room full of, close supporters of the land trust typically. So there's going to be some repeat here, but important reiteration of our mission is to protect and care for open space, ranches, farms, parkland, and shoreline in the East Bay. Um, we have to date been able to permanently protect thousands of acres, and we're excited to be able to be doing more as we go forward. And to give you a little bit broader view of that service area, just describe this sort of long range aerial view shows you the greater East Bay and every place you see a map pin, specifically in yellow, that is a project interest that connects to John Muir Land Trust. So you can see we're very active in a very rangy description of the East Bay region, and really excited about a lot of that project work going forward. Much of it simultaneously but we'll highlight a few things today. And to that end, as we talk about that larger service area, this is probably the easiest way to describe how we approach sort of a landscape level perspective on the collective projects that we try and address. So we'll roll them up into sort of portfolio descriptions as follows: Sacramento, San Joaquin Delta, as I mentioned, the East Bay Hills, and as you move south, that begins to blend into Moraga Hills and all the way out into the Upper San Leandro watershed and so forth, and which extends well down into the southern part of Alameda County and the like, Hayward, Fremont. Then coming back up out into West Contra Costa County, Franklin Ridge, which runs essentially east-west, but on the back side, Pinole Valley, the Pinole Valley watershed, which actually comes down and connects to the East Bay Hills. So you can see all of these portfolios are really very connective. And then as well, we do address agriculture. Many of you have been involved with Family Harvest Farm. We're certainly concerned about trying to protect local food supply and just the benefits of local agriculture in general as a program area and the like. So lots to do within these portfolios. And again, today I'll highlight just a few, but one of the ways that we're able to move most contemporaneously on some of these projects is very good outcome in essentially now the new year of Proposition 4. So in November of just last year, uh, voters went to the ballot and they did pass, they approved Prop 4, which authorizes, as you see here, $10 billion for safe drinking water, wildfire prevention, protecting communities and natural lands from climate risks. Um, this is the largest conservation bond in the history of the United States. We're thrilled that there's an enlightened perspective on support for this sort of initiative, and it seems so pertinent. And I've had family and close family friends lose their homes in the LA fires. Um, our hearts go out to them. Um, all the more reason that we're really focused on whatever we can do to create climate resilience, to do the wildfire prevention that we're able to get ahead of here, and to also protect safe drinking water and air and the like. So Prop 4 does help us. It really supports us scale up to proven nature-based solutions that we're already involved with and to permanently protect so much of our vulnerable landscapes and begin to really mitigate climate related threats. So this is the work that we do. To that end, I'm going to look backwards, even though this is a kickoff. I'm going to look backwards just a little bit about some of the accomplishments at the end of 2024, starting with Franklin Ridge. And I want to touch this because so many of you were so supportive. This was a $6.5 million campaign to expand Franklin Ridge, something we were involved with for 35 years. I mean, really since the inception of the land trust, it's been a long, long project plan, very strategic. And there's James Wilson, our stewardship director, out on the ridge, and that ridge looks like this. And as you know, started out over here, Mount Wanda, the Stonehurst easements and the like. Over time, over 35 years, we've been able to connect that entire ridge so that it remains unfragmented, including recently adding the Kenneth Gerlach Preserve and Barnett Ranch at the end of 2024 to be able to connect out to now connective trail easements that will bring us out to the south meadow of Fernandez Ranch and then across over to Cummings Skyway and across Highway 4, which is sort of the holy grail of getting across a freeway, not easy to do. This connects that sort of 1,500 acre now unfragmented ridge line to more than 18,000 acres of additional permanently protected land by some of our partners, including Crockett Hills up here by EBRPD and the like, and trail connections to the Bay Area Ridge Trail and so forth. This was a big accomplishment that lots of folks have been working on for many years, and we're just really celebrating that outcome here. at the beginning of 2025 as something that happened not too long ago at the end of 2024. So thank you for all of your support. In that regard, it's meant the world to all of us and the mutual benefit of of that accomplishment. So, and you've seen some of these images before, but they're worth repeating. This is the quality of habitat up there. It just what a walk on property really feels like. Just gorgeous, lush green ridgeline along Franklin Ridge. You can see heading out towards the North Bay and views of Mount Tamalpais and the like. And about a year ago, very early January 2024, a picture of some of the wildlife that uses this unfragmented ridgeline, large mammals that need all of that space to range. Gorgeous puma here, mountain lion, um, as well as so many other wonderful wildlife. We've got an American badger, a red-legged frog, burrowing owl, and a bobcat. So thank you again for your help in accomplishing that extension. So moving forward from there, just recently, and this is really a 2025 initiative, kickoff, and will take us some time, but we have good footing and very much appreciate already some vital support for this conservation imperative, our Bay Delta campaign. Again, just recently announced, and I'm going to give you as much of an overview as I can in a short period of time. This map is obviously just line art that gets you perspective on at least three of these projects here: Pacheco Marsh, Point Buckler Island, and then out to Hoover Ranch. And in that regard, I will keep moving and sort of zero us in a little bit. Here's an aerial view of those essentially parcel overview so that you've got that different perspective and kind of orient yourself. Here's the Benicia Bridge. This is all the way out to Bethel Island, so the entire shoreline along the Carquinez Strait within essentially Contra Costa County on the south shore there. And then swinging more to the west, I'm going to bring us in on Pacheco Marsh, which has been a project for the Land Trust since, well, more than 20 years, and recently restored tidal influenced saltwater marsh that is now functional. Again, that tidal influence is happening, and we breached the levee on this about 2 years ago, and very interested now in completing public access. This will be a wonderful amenity for the regional public. We expect it's going to be a wonderful destination for school kids and families, and that's our design conceit to make sure that that's most effectively implemented, so folks can really learn why saltwater marsh is important, bring them closer to the waterway and the Bay Delta region that we all thrive in being connected to. And here's some line art or pictographic map, thanks to Megan Mailer, our wonderful graphics designer, to help you, all of us, better understand what we're trying to accomplish. So first and foremost, in substance, is an interpretive pavilion here with school bus parking and the like. So school kids can get out here, get a handoff, a staging area where they can begin to learn, and then move out into a saltwater marsh with all of the interpretive materials to help them really understand, take a deep dive, and really enjoy a walk out along about 3 miles worth of trail, and including 4 bridges and a kayak launch, lots of vista points and bird watching, just wonderful amenities all around. And I'll just point out the bridges because that's something that's really notable. Is just sort of signature infrastructure. See if I can find my cursor there. Entrance 1, 2, 3 out here, that's a bridge that goes there, and 4. And I'd say just because of bay mud and the length that we've ended up having to span, these are all aluminum bridges that are being currently installed, and we'll have a May 3rd opening and celebration, which I just want to note, please mark that on your calendar. That's going to be great. And we'll also celebrate Franklin Ridge at that time. This is the job I want. They tell me I can't do it. Just half an hour to operate this, but they say no. And this is what installing some of these bridges looks like. So there's as much as 135, 134, 135 feet long, aluminum. Steel would be too heavy. The footing would be too awkward, sink into the bay mud. So these are lighter weight and also protected against salt air. Here's the first guy across that installation, that bridge. Gives you a sense of just the beauty of this infrastructure and the quality of all of the other amenities that are being installed. There's a kayak experience out there, including a kayak loop. So if you're a kayaker, this will be a really desirable place to come and recreate. And we'll hope to see you there sometime soon. Again, remember May 3rd. Here's a white egret taking a look and then flying away, just to give you just a tease as to the kind of bird life that you'll see out there. And now I'm going to move back out and move towards Point Buckler Island. Again, I'm going to have to move this along so we get through some things. So just yesterday, we purchased Point Buckler Island as part of our Delta campaign and restoring the Bay Delta. This is a 50-acre lot, but the island is itself approximately 30 acres. It suffered from a lot of impacts, a levee that was improperly built and the like. And so we have, as a credit bidder, been able to purchase the island, and we'll move forward over the coming seasons to actually plan, permit, and implement a restoration of this important island element that also has had a negative impact on for all of the degradation of its natural areas on fish passage and the like. So we want to be able to get involved with that restoration and really have that positive impact return for fish passage and just Bay Delta elements that really foot to this particular landmass. So more to come on that. We're very excited about it. It is literally today's news. We put it out in a press release just about an hour ago, and you're the first audience that we've actually spoken to directly about this. So we're very excited about this wonderful opportunity, and you'll hear lots about it coming up. Then moving again from Point Buckler here, further to the east, Hoover Ranch. Hoover Ranch, by our estimates right now, will ultimately likely be about a $30 million project. Pacheco Marsh, as a sort of proof of concept, likely about 24 million. Hoover Ranch is 600 acres, about 3 times as large. And the strategy here will be to essentially take that 600 acres. I can't resist. I've got to show you some beauty shots of this. Here's Hoover. It's a magical place, just a magnificent property. This is moonfall over that 600 acres. Sunrise at the Delta, just gorgeous lighting, beautiful photography by Adam Weidenbach, our wonderful a photographer out on these properties, and he gets out there early and just captures some wonderful things. Here we see a little bit later in the morning, fantastic perspectives on this property. The strategy here, and you can see the quality of the waters and the like, will be to move. So see our snow caps in the distance there, obviously. Here's some view of the canal infrastructure and so forth out at Hoover Island. And as we go through it, you'll see some seasonal wetlands like this. On those 600 acres, they're behind a levee and were dewatered, as it were, to provide agricultural land. So when you take water off of peat soil, it provides a very rich soil for agriculture, but it also, in this case, or generally in the Delta, puts off as much as 20 tons of carbon per acre per year. So at 600 acres, that is basically a raging fire of carbon that otherwise would have been sequestered under a wetland previously, which is essentially what we're going to try and return it to. It's behind a levee, so there are siphon valves and the like, where we'll, after planning and permitting and the like, inundate the property, put it back to tules, and effectively sequester that carbon as a nature-based solution to address climate change and the like, and also to create a wonderful destination with environmental education amenities and the like, and some wonderful public access to beautiful walks around this to be restored um, property. We're really excited about it. Some of the wildlife biologists and the like that have been out to the property during our diligence said it's some of the best birding experiences they had in their entire career. Here you see some mavostet, killdeer. Um, People are much more expert than me, but hoping to get these right. Here's some incoming sandhill cranes, and again, thanks to Adam for catching so many wonderful shots. This is just a very sweet shot. They're not rare, but these crown sparrows are just beautiful in these shots, and wonderful habitat for an immense variety of birds. And again, I think that's going to be such an attribute among so many other possible experiences out at Hoover Ranch. Again, we are about so it's a $30 million project all told. Um, we're about a third of the way there, so we've done very well to date. You're going to hear a lot more about it. Ultimately, we'll have to achieve that 30 million. But again, having a third of that under our belt for towards acquisition, permitting, planning, permitting, restoration, management, all of those issues, we're doing pretty well. So here's some Canadian snow geese. Some of you may have seen this, but I just love these shots as they take off. With the north face of Mount Diablo behind them. We're really looking forward to bringing people out to this property. In fact, some of you may have already heard. We have some tours. Many of you have signed up already. We thought we'd hold one that filled up right away. Then another one filled up. Then another one. And so we're working to try and figure out how to do that regularly enough over the coming months that everybody gets a chance to get on a bus, get out here, so you don't have to suffer the drive, and really have a wonderful tour of Hoover Ranch. And just this is just a percentage of the kickoff for 2025. We've got some wonderful work ahead of us. And why do we do it? As you know, to ensure clean water and air, all of the habitat and wildlife that we're alluding to protect them, local fresh food, and access. Just the idea that so much of this is so good for not just habitat for all of us, our own health and well-being, and specifically to address climate change and reducing those impacts. And thank you again for I'm going to assume your support of Prop 4. It's such a benefit to this work, which benefits all of us. So thank you. Part of the reason we do it as well, as you know, and I'm going to move through this very quickly, but we are ground zero for all those that would be immigrating to Contra Costa and East Bay. We're where there's decline elsewhere. We're seeing an acceleration. This is the Department of Finance keeps track of the census. We'll expect to see essentially the population of San Francisco added to Alameda and Contra Costa counties over the next 20 to 30 years. So we have work to do to preserve natural habitat, to provide for housing, to provide for transportation, to provide for jobs, and to do that in a smart, well-planned way. And we want to be very engaged with a thoughtful approach to all of that, and very much engaged in conversation with you about how we do that together. And of course, we do accomplish that together. We do it with you all, as we've pictured here. We have a great board of directors, committee members, professional staff. I've got a wonderful team, and I just do everything I can to support them. I try to be the busboy to some very talented staff that really get so much done. And of course, all of the volunteers and supporters that are supporting us and helping us, and actually out and stewardship and doing all of that kind of work. It's an essential part of how this public benefit corporation gets its work done. It's how we accomplish our mission. Everyone's welcome. So please do reach out if there's other ways you want to become engaged, or if you're just new. Everybody's welcome, and we want to invite you to become as involved as you can and would like. And we have actually more than 6,000 donors in the last few years. The leveraging, or last couple of years, these last seasons, last 18 months, that the leveraging is probably at about 5, maybe even 6 to 1. Uh, very generous gifts from $5 to more than $1 million, and we can't thank you enough. And we all need to do this together. So it really does take that village. So thank you for your support. We also, just so you know, talking about places like Point Buckler and so forth, we're very much connected to this ecosystem of agencies and scientific advisors and so forth. They help us make better decisions and how to work together and connect donors to really great projects where everybody's engaged with strategic investments in these nature-based solutions. We're everybody on this is a fruit salad of logos. There's actually many more, and we have a very good range of relationships with these important partners, and of course all of you. So how can you help? As I was saying, we're having some tours to Hoover Ranch coming up. If you're not already signed up, we're going to try and make more available. Please schedule Saturday, May 3rd to be at the opening of the public access aspect of the Pacheco Marsh project. It's thrilling. It's I think you're going to just really be impressed with what that destination is going to be for generations to come, as well as our celebration of Franklin Ridge. Because from Pacheco Marsh, you can look up and see the properties that we've permanently protected on Franklin Ridge and see the connectivity, how all of these properties really are, as Muir often sort of is alluded to, are hitched together, how we're all hitched to it as well. So invite others to come along, please do. And as you're able, please consider making meaningful financial investments in the organization. We can't do it without you. And together, I think we can create that abundant future, and together we can achieve it. And that's a great way to kick off 2025. There's lots of good work and solutions that we can bring to bear. It's a very hopeful scenario and outlook, and we look forward to doing that together with you. And I'm happy to entertain any questions. I'm about 5 minutes late on my timeline, but I think Lisa or somebody could maybe come off mute and you can stump the chump.
Hi, everyone. If you do have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I did see a question about accessing our lands. Linus, what is the accessibility of JMLT lands?
Great question, because that's part of the reason we do the protection that we do is not just for the habitat protection, but for access for people. Typically, essentially all of our land is open from dawn to dusk, and for walks, and as much as we can provide it multi-use for equestrian, for mountain bikes, for walkers and hikers, and just to get out and enjoy. That is not true yet of Pacheco Marsh, for instance. It's a construction site, but for the most part, you can go online. Always a good idea. Go to jmlt.org, be able to download maps, understand where these properties are. We take pride in the idea that we're able to provide that kind of access all over the space. So there's likely a project or a property very close to you. You don't have to go far to have a really wonderful outdoor experience. Dawn to dusk, love to see you out on the trail. Get outside. It's good for you. Enjoy. And
Great.
again,
And again, we invite you to put any comments in the chat or questions or anything you want to share. Just feel free to drop it right in the chat.
what else? I see raised hands. Do you see those, Lisa? Are we able to view some of?
I see the raised hands. I am also seeing the questions starting to drop in.
Okay.
So how about dog-friendly trails? Do you want to talk about, are our trails dog-friendly?
Yes, they are. There's kind of a distinction there, as trails are open to bring your canine friend. Typically, we really do encourage you to have that dog on lead, and some more open space will allow the idea that the dog is under voice command. I think my dog's under voice command, and I'm often proven wrong. So you're always safer to have your canine friend on a lead and hope that you can consider that as probably the best protocol. But yes, our properties are open for that kind of use.
Okay. Any special plans for Family Harvest Farm in 2025?
We have some great new folks engaged with Family Harvest Farm. Um, Alex Mokhtari Fox, Jen Fong are out there, Mary, and as to special plans, we now have placed Family Harvest Farm under the umbrella of stewardship. So you have James and uh, Ricardo and others from stewardship also interacting with Family Harvest Farm. So the farm becomes more and more integrated to our wide range of project work, and lots of good things coming up there. You'll see harvest festivals and the like, and a growing team of support to make sure the farm is really firing on all cylinders.
Great. Question after May 3rd, will Pacheco Marsh be open to the public? Yes, it will.
Yes, it will. That is those are very special moments for us. That opening, that celebration really is the dedication of the public access amenities, and we're really looking forward to that celebration, and to, yes, at that point, a destination for you to simply come and enjoy at your leisure, along with all the school kids and families and everybody else that we really want to make sure know that the place is available.
Have we planned for sea level rise in the wetlands?
Yes, typically, well, with respect to Pacheco Marsh, it's engineered with an anticipation of roughly 5 feet sea level rise. The adjacent marsh, for instance, Peyton Marsh, would likely inundate, and so um, the engineering accounts for 5 feet, and also allows for terrestrial wildlife creatures to therefore have high land that they can move to from other places that will inundate. So yes, that is part of the engineering anticipation. And uh, wherever you stand uh, on climate change, it would be irresponsible of us to not actually anticipate that potential. So yes, that is configured into all of the engineering design.
Can we sell carbon credits and raise money for more sustainable land?
It is a possibility. We don't engage with mitigation or carbon credits as a first priority. It is not our motivation to do a project, but where there is a project such as Hoover Ranch that will inundate and sequester carbon, we have an obligation to look at maximizing that potential benefit to provide for its long range stewardship. So yes, we look at it carefully, but uh, mitigation in general can be kind of a mm, problematic issue, and we want to make sure that it's done right, and we're not motivated by simply monetizing property for mitigation as an offset to something else that perhaps might not be the best thing to facilitate. So we're very careful about it, but that long-winded answer is to say, yeah, we have an obligation to look at that, and if it makes sense, certainly use those funds to help support stewardship of the properties.
Great. There's a question, how do we get involved? Oh, I think they're asking how they get involved with Family Harvest Farm. I see various questions about volunteering. The best place to go to is on our website. Look at the calendar. We have hikes for the public, volunteer opportunities to actually work on Family Harvest Farm, but also other properties doing weed abatement. I was out there the other weekend at Harvey. It's really wonderful people you get to meet along the way. And all of our events as well. So the opening that Linus said save the date for on May 3rd, that will also be on our calendar in the months ahead. So just stay tuned on jmlt.org.
Yeah,
Let's
go to the website. There'll be lots of information, and we're grateful to Kristen Anderson for the persistent updates there. And also, you can avail yourself of social media channels. Kristen's really been great at advancing our materials and communications in those channels as well. So lots of ways to stay in touch, and we'd look forward to connecting with you in all sorts of ways.
So we're at 1:03. We haven't gotten to every single question, but we are at time. So I just
So
want to encourage people to reach out if they want to just learn more or get to know Linus or any of us a little bit better.
yeah, please feel free to follow up if there's some questions. Yeah, we've got an overhang here, and we want to try and keep this to time. We are over, so please email in questions if you'd like, and we'll be prompt and sure to respond, and we'll go from there. All right, and really do encourage you to get out on property and enjoy those amenities, and look forward to seeing you May 3rd, and to connecting in so many different opportunities and events in the coming months. All right. Thank you to everybody. And we're gonna sign off now. And again, thank you for being here today.